And while digital, cloud, AI and blockchain adoption have been gaining momentum, the panic is likely to be an inflection point in that journey. Many institutions are looking to rebuild trust quickly and credibly in the post-pandemic world through these technologies. Well, earlier we spoke to Venkateshwaran Srinivasan, who heads TCS Financial Solutions, a strategic business unit of Tata Consultancy Services, and R. Vivekanand, Vice President and co-head of TCS Financial Solutions, to discuss what the world of financial services will look like in 2021 and beyond. Well, I began by asking Venkat how TCS has responded to the coronavirus pandemic.
Clearly, resilience has been a hallmark that we as a company and TCS Banks as a business of TCS have demonstrated right through. Be it in the way we responded to our customers for first line of production support, be it the number of customers who went live in this period. And to facilitate all of that, I will explain just briefly what we have done in a minute. We've basically put in place what we call the SBWS in the company. It's the Secure Borderless Workspace model. It's nothing but the basic operating model in the office, but pretty much transplanted to a working from remote location kind of situation. So there's a hell of a lot of collaboration going on. There is a lot of connectivity established, security established, so that our customers get the same level of service without the risk that comes along with that.
When we look at the future of open and digital banking, where do you think it lies? And more to the point, are we looking at expanding ecosystems so that we can build a thriving open and digital future?
Yeah, absolutely. I think open banking and the whole digital world and in fact technologies like cloud, they're all converging together to build thriving ecosystems. We clearly see increasing adoption of ecosystems, and that clearly is as one big part of the future. We certainly see, in fact, digital banking more and more embraced in the corporate space going forward in the future as well. If you look at the retail space today, there's a lot of digital adoption at a very high level. But the B2B space, I think, still leaves a lot of tracks to fill. We see that expanding into the future. And coming to the whole pandemic itself, I think it's very clear, becoming increasingly clear that digital only and cloud only is the way to go. It's no longer about just being also digital. It's very important to go full on to digital cloud technologies. And that's something, again, where we will see a lot of uptake, we believe, in the future, because these are all getting more and more proven over time. And we will see increased adoption in the future.
Okay, let's broaden this out, because Vivek, from your perspective, I'd like you to tell me about SaaS, and also cloud in that post-pandemic world, and more specifically, the role you think they're likely to play.
I think the resilience of the cloud is going to be a significant factor. We have all understood that. Then there is the data protection aspect, which has been addressed to a much greater level than what was there before. Our customers now have the confidence to say that, I can put this on the cloud much more than what they did earlier, right? So absorption of cloud, moving to cloud, I think it will grow well above industry average. If you were to look at it, SaaS will grow well above industry average compared to on-premise. We do see customers migrating from on-prem to on-cloud, if you can put it that way, because they now have the confidence that they can do it. And more than that, we all believe that cloud will be much more resilient than doing work on-premise. So I think the shift is much more significant now, more dramatic now than what it would have been, before the pandemic. And that is how we see it playing out for our solutions also.
Let's look at AI, for example. What impact do you think that is likely to have on financial systems when you judge it against the developments elsewhere with the cloud and SaaS?
Yeah, again, I think further momentum because of what we have experienced in the last few months, because we all would never have thought that a lot of what we are doing from home can ever be done, right? I think we all believed that for certain purposes, you have to pack up and be in the office. You have to be there together as a group, be there all night sometimes maybe in order to get some things done, right? And that has been completely changed by, that whole thinking has been dismantled. We do not think like that anymore. We do not work like that anymore. So what it means is that in a number of places where we said, no, I will only trust a human being with this. Now we will trust a greater level of automation. We will now, go into a model in the future where we would never be in the office because that is the best way to do something and that is the best way to take care of something, which means that we will leverage all the intelligence that's there from data, we will use machine learning, and we will go about things very differently. So that barrier has been completely broken, and so AI will be much more significant in the future.
Okay, so Venkat, what we've learned from that answer is that the AI footprint will expand considerably, but if you take these technologies generally, they are designed to collect relevant data that can in turn be used to build ecosystems. So in the final analysis, how is this going to help consumers and suppliers?
I think the best example I can think of is Alibaba and what that ecosystem really entails. So on the one hand, it brings consumers and suppliers of goods. This platform brings people together. So as a consumer, you get the right choice of goods you want, and suppliers get a marketplace to sell them and so on. And in a parallel way, in the same platform provides an underpinning of financial capital as well to borrowers and investors and so on. So I think that's the whole model. So if you look at the platform, it benefits everybody. There is a kind of a mutual interest to just be on the platform because you're going to participate on all sense of the word, both from a real world transaction standpoint as well as financially underlying transaction which is required. Probably the single strength of that platform is the kind of data that it has of millions and millions of consumers and number of suppliers. So I think that's the kind of thriving ecosystem of multiple parties. And of course, ecosystem may not be that big, it need not be that grand at a scale, but just to make the point that pretty much there's something for everyone.
Vivek, we've been hearing about AI and other technologies, but what about the role of blockchain? Where do you see that role in the financial value chain?
Blockchain, I think, has a big role to play, but I wouldn't say that it's directly due to the pandemic. It's got various other elements also associated with it. But I think when you look at blockchain, you have to see that it gives you a single source of data and it gives you tamper-proof data. So when you look at it from that perspective, then the applications pan out, much more easily, right? We are using blockchain today. We are having applications that we are building for areas like bank guarantees, for digital IDs, for certificates, clearing and settlement, for different types of asset classes, unlisted securities, OTC, wide range of things. But if I were to summarize all of that and put it in a simple manner, I would say single source of truth, authentic, tamper-proof.
Gentlemen, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. That was Venkateshwaran Srinivasan, who heads TCS Financial Solutions, a strategic business unit of Tata Consultancy Services, and R. Vivekanand, who is co-head of TCS Financial Solutions.